If you love coconut biscuits, then you should try this recipe. I've created these coconut butter cookies that are simply irresistible. They are very addictive, incredibly easy to make, and once you taste them, you'll find yourself making batch after batch. A warm welcome to you, and thank you so much for coming back to watch another video. My name is Helen, and if this sounds like your kind of vibe, then please sit back, relax, and then let's get baking. Thank you. So in a bowl, I'll start by adding salted butter. And for this recipe, I'm using 250 grams. And you would want your butter to be very soft. So I took mine from the fridge about an hour before filming it, just that it will soften perfectly. After adding the butter, I'll whisk for just a minute before adding some caster sugar. If you have powdered sugar, that would be perfect because it melts very, very easily and there's no stress at all. For this recipe, I'm using a cup of castor cane sugar. You can always use a little more if you prefer, or even reduce the size of the sugar. That's up to you. Once the sugar is in, I'll just whisk for a minute or two or until it dissolves into the butter. Or let me say until it turns pale and creamy. Next thing to add will be 1 cup of vegetable oil, and I'll be mixing till it's fully combined. If you use powdered sugar, this step should be very, very quick and easy because the sugar and butter has already blended smoothly. And since I didn't do that, or since I used caster sugar, it will take a while before it completely melts or combines. Yes, so you need to take note of that. The next thing to add will be some coconut milk, and I'm adding 1/3 cup of coconut milk. The next thing to add will be some essence, and if you have coconut essence, that'll be perfect for this recipe. Since I don't have any, I'm just using some vanilla essence, which is cool. After adding, I'll just whisk for 2 or 3 minutes just so everything combines beautifully. And here's the result: smooth, creamy, and fragrant. So I'll just set this aside while we mix the dry ingredients. So moving on, in a bowl, I'll start by adding some powdered milk. And for this recipe, I'm using half a cup of powdered milk. You can add more if you prefer, or you can use just 1 cup of powdered milk. That's when or if you prefer. The next thing to add will be some flour. You can either use plain flour or cake flour. And for this recipe, I'm using plain flour. So I'll start by sifting 3 cups of flour, and sifting helps remove any hidden lumps that we might not see. And it will also give it a smoother, lighter dough. I will add the rest of the flour as the video proceeds. If you're here watching, and then I'm guessing you're enjoying the video, please take a moment to share this recipe with a loved one. Subscribe if you haven't already, and follow us on all socials at Up Close with Abna, and give this video a big thumbs up. After sifting, I'll add the flour directly to the butter mixture. I haven't added salt because I used salted butter for this recipe. Next thing to add will be some desiccated coconut, and I'm using just 1 cup for now. For the first phase, or for this first phase, I added 3 cups of flour and 1 cup of desiccated coconut. We're adding the rest as we go. Now, I'll begin mixing everything gently with my hands. I'm not using a whisk because I don't want to mess up the place. You can also use a spatula if you prefer. As I mix, I can see, or you can see, we need more flour. So I'll go ahead and add 1 cup of sifted flour, and I'll continue mixing with my hand. So I wasn't fully convinced, so I added an extra cup of flour. But instead, I first of all added half first, mixed before adding the other half. I hope I'm clear. Yes. So in total, I would say I used 5 cups of flour for this recipe. And you know your dough is ready when it no longer sticks to your fingers or your hand when you touch it. It's very simple. I'll come again. I used 5 cups of flour for this recipe. Yes, but it's better to add in bits so that you get the perfect outcome. Last ingredient to add would be 1 more cup of desiccated coconut. I'll then mix everything again until I'm satisfied with the texture. And as you can see, it's already looking beautiful and ready for the next step. So in total, I used 5 cups of flour and 2 cups of desiccated coconut. Please keep that in mind. After adding the last cup of desiccated coconut, this is the outcome of the dough, or this is how the dough looks like. Soft, smooth, not sticky when you touch it. I'll just set this aside and move on to the next stage where we cut and shape our dough. For the very first method, we are keeping it very nice and simple. So I'll just take part of the coconut dough and place it on a cling film and flatten it with my hands. You can also use a rolling pin, that's when you prefer, but I find using my hands quicker and easier. So I'll just flatten it with my hands until I'm happy with the outcome or thickness, especially. When I'm done, I'll just place it in the freezer for 15 minutes roughly, just to firm it up. And for the second method, I will not be flattening it. That I'll be shaping it into a neat square block bisano so that it'll be very easy to cut with a knife later. That's when it firms up. You can also use the first method for fun. That's when you prefer to cut it with different cutters and shapes. Yes, so I'll freeze this as well for 15 minutes until it firms up. After 15 minutes, this is how the first method looks like. So I'll just take my cookie cutter and I'm going for the square shaped size today to cut my cookies. And I'll be doing this repeatedly until there's no dough left. If any pieces break, just don't worry. Mold them back together and cut again. It's very simple. So here's the finished tray and my oven is already preheated to 150 degrees. I'll just bake these for 30 to 35 minutes. I personally love my cookies with a golden brown finish, so just keep an eye on them as they bake just to make sure they turn out perfectly. To the second batch, as you can see, I'm already shaping it with my knife and it's much easier because it's firm. Yes. So I'll be baking these for 30 minutes as well, or until I'm happy with the outcome. And if you're still here watching, you don't know how grateful I am. I'm truly grateful. And here's the outcome after baking. My camera isn't doing justice to them. They look absolutely gorgeous and taste even better. Right after baking, please allow it to cool down before taking it off the tray. Yes. And this is because when they are freshly baked, they can be a little soft, but once it cools down, they become perfectly crunchy. I hope I'm clear. I'll just arrange them neatly on my tray, and this recipe gave me 43 cookies, even though I used fairly large cutters. So if you're using medium cutters, you will even get more. I really hope this video was helpful, and if you enjoyed watching, please just take a moment to subscribe, give this video a thumbs up, and share it to someone who loves a good coconut butter cookies. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and when you try this recipe, please don't forget to share your photos in my community. Check out other amazing recipes on my channel, and until next time, have a blissful, beautiful weekend. Bye-bye!